Salams, peace be upon everyone who joins us. Um, so you guys, I opened that up, and again, all three of us happen to be people who entered Islam. We were not Muslims at one point, and we were guided by our Lord to embrace Islam. We came into Islam. We are now Muslims, and so this question of if you find the truth, if the truth is presented and made clear to you, are you willing to change? I think that this is an excellent place to start. And CJ, you're actually to my right in the video this time, so I'll start with you.
Okay. I, I feel like that's kind of obvious, at least in our cases, because we all believe we found the truth and we all obviously made substantial changes in our lives.
That's true. Adam.
I mean, yeah, I would have said the same thing as for us. Yeah, obviously, if we found what we believe to be the truth, we would change because we did. So,
No, that's true. And so now I'll just open it up a little bit, and that's I and I'll share a little bit about myself. When it came to me, right? I felt as though I had a choice to make, and of course we all have a choice to make. But my choice, the choice that I felt that I had, was: am I going to recognize this as the truth and keep being the person I used to be, and thus know that this is the truth, but then be hypocritical, or will I change and embrace it despite the trials and tribulations? Everybody gives the fantasy part, the happy part, the joyous part of entering Islam, and they seldom talk about the struggles and trials that we face. But I was left. Do I go on being who I always was, knowing that this is the truth, and then being a hypocrite, or am I going to embrace this despite the trials, tribulations, and struggles that were to come? And so I mentioned that only to say that this was actually part of my thought process when I entered Islam, and I'm raising it now because I want you guys not to talk about us. Right? Obviously, we made the choice some time ago, and perhaps it is the case that it's been so long that we don't even remember what we went through to embrace Islam. Perhaps it is we don't even remember the emotional state or the intellectual turns of events that took place. The really what I'm looking for, if you guys want to comment on it, is what do you think about the other people today? And I'll be very specific about this. I'm talking about other Americans, and I could say white America, but it relates to everybody. But yes, true white America. You have people who have never been introduced to this idea. It's not part of our heritage. It's not part of our culture. It's not part of our history. It's something new to us. The African Americans, they have some relationship to this. Even the Christians, they know about it because perhaps it is that they have extended family who is Muslim. And the same way with the Latino community today, there is a growing trend of Islam, and they can relate to this, and they can even tie it back to their historical roots, with some of the Africans that came to their land and the like. We don't have that, right? We don't have that, and so, and when I say we, I mean the white community in America. And there's all levels. You have people who are business people, you have students, you have people who are laborers, you have all different types of people, and that's white isn't a homogenous whole, and we'll get there eventually. We'll have that conversation. But what do you say about those people who are going to face those struggles if they're presented with the truth? You know, what should they do? How do you perceive their moving forward?
It's difficult initially, I think. I think it really is because you're not only changing your mindset, but you're arguing and fussing back with people you've known your entire life who don't want to accept it. It's really hard to explain to your grandmother who has been Catholic her whole life and has raised you Catholic that you don't believe that, and you feel in your heart and you know that you've been presented with the truth, and here's this fact, this fact, this fact from the Quran, the Hadith, whatever, and you know it. And but it's just that pushback from loved ones and friends. Friends are going to leave you. Friends are going to walk away. You know, they're going to turn their backs on you, and you just. I think people need to understand that it's not going to be hunky dory.
Mm.
You know.
Adam?
Uh, yeah, I think depending on your background that you come from, also is difficult because like Islam is not just a religion like the way most Americans think about religion. You know, it's a way of life. You know, you have to change a lot, and I'm not even just talking about like outward appearance or anything, but like a lot of the things you do throughout the day and stuff like that. And most people in America who would come to Islam usually will be coming from Christianity, and at least in my, well, not in all of my experience, but in a lot of my experience, a lot of Christians are kind of just Sunday believers. You know what I mean? Like they go to church on Sunday, and then the rest of the week they forget about it. You know, it's like not something they think about all the time. I think there was even like a quote about like the greatest cause of atheism in the world today is Christians who acknowledge Jesus with their lips and walk out the door and deny him by their lifestyle. And you know, and that's something that if you're real serious with Islam and you believe it to be true, like you can't do that because you know, at least 5 times a day you have to you have to pray. So you are changing your lifestyle, and it's not just a Friday at the mosque kind of thing if you're genuine and serious about it.
Yeah.
So
I think that this is a major reason why your friends left, is because the reality is that not only did we pray, but we stopped drinking, we stopped fornicating, we stopped gambling, we stopped doing all of these things that we might have been doing in the past, and so we're not cool anymore. We're not. I mean, they're still cool with us, but that doesn't mean they want to spend time with us because our life takes a different
Right.
path than their life, and these are things. So this you're absolute. Both of you made excellent points. CJ, you made the point that you got to battle with family and friends because even I know people who they beautiful people. They enter Islam and then they have a relative come with a snide comment. Oh, you're a terrorist now. And things like that. And so you have this thing where people will start talking to you differently, treating you differently. Again, these are people who've known you your whole life or people you consider very close to you and they start having a different relationship with you. And so that part's true. And then Adam, what you said is also true that we have to change so much. And again, it's not really about outward appearance. For men, of course we grow our beard, we should be covering our heads in public. And for women, they cover their bodies in public. But that's really the physical appearance, right? But really a lot of it comes with lifestyle choices that we change. So we have to change how we are. Now, this goes back to the question. If I used to say this to people, if what was it? What did I used to say to people? Oh, if you found the truth, would you accept it? Right? Would you accept it? So the question is that if we present people, if the message that we present to people, they say, no, this resonates with me. I've always believed this my whole life, which is what we hear all the time. This is what I've always believed. I just didn't know that this had a name, something like this. So if somebody does hear this, it resonates. They recognize it as truth, right? But they hear what you guys just said, that they have to change and their family's going to treat them different, their friends are going to treat them differently. What's worth it? Why should they change? Why should they go through that for an ideology that they just was introduced to?
I can tell you from my experience, the truest of my friends got over it. We don't hang out every day. We don't associate regularly, but I still have lifelong friends. It was a transition. Same with family. A lot of my family that gave me that pushback initially are just happy to see that I'm doing something positive with my life. So push through. You know what I mean? It's not going to be easy initially. But once you show people that you're serious and this is what's helping you and this is what's guiding you to be a better person, they start to recognize that. And even if it doesn't open their eyes to accept Islam, it opens their eyes to appreciate you as a better man.
Adam?
I mean, I actually don't have any friends that rejected me, but I have been looking, into the religions and studying religion since I was young. So I think all of them were just like, well, that's just, normal. And at the worst, they probably just thought, well, Islam's just another one. He'll be to the next one, And, now 9 years later, I'm not. But, so I still have all my friends, and I'll hang out with them and stuff. But the family thing, again, I didn't really lose anyone on my mom's side of the family. Everybody was super cool about it. And then on my dad's side of the family, there was already like a rift, because they're old Texas white people, they're racist and conservatives, like, always would, back whatever the Republicans say, or, they were Trump supporters. So there was already that.
So is TJ.
I'm extremely conservative, and I do back Trump. If he runs again, I'm probably going to vote for him again.
No problem. Let's not get sidetracked.
But anyway, that's not the point of this discussion.
But so I didn't really experience much blowback. I mean, every once in a while, they'll say things, even on my mom's side of the family, there'll be something that's just kind of said out of a little bit of ignorance. And then I just talk to them about it, and they're like, oh, okay,
The reason I even use the word, and I'll touch on something if I may, and that is that, what makes it worth it for me, and this is what helped me myself make the decision, is because I'm going to die. Right? I'm going to die, and it's an inevitability that we all face. And if this is the truth from God, the one who created me, then anything that I go through in this life is temporary. It's not that big of a deal, right? It's not that big of a deal. And in reality, if I believe that this is the absolute truth from God, then why would I choose something else? Why would I choose the opposite of it, or something else? Or why would I mix it with something else? And so ultimately, it's about, if this is the truth from the Creator who created me and sent guidance for mankind, if this is that truth, then why would I turn away from it? And I use the term ideology because people who are just now being introduced to it, they're going to see it as a philosophy. They're going to see it as an ideology. They're even going to see it as a religion. But the fact is, as Adam pointed out earlier, it's an entire way of life. It's four-dimensional. It's about our beliefs. It's about the rules and regulations by which we govern ourselves. It's about our spirituality, and it's about the life to come, right? And so we have all four dimensions here. And so it is an encompassing way of life. It's not just about our worship. It's about how we eat. It's about how we sleep. It's about how we raise our children. It's about all of these things. And so if I believe that this is the guidance from God, then what is there that could cause me to turn away from it and choose family, choose friends over God? And so this is my own take on it, about, is it worth it? Well, it depends. Do you choose those people? You're going to die and they're going to die, but God is ever living, right? So do you choose those who are going to pass away with you, or do you choose the ever living? And so this is my response to that. If I find that this is the truth from God, will I accept it? And this is actually a challenge that